Hi friends, Grace Rosa here from Identity Dental Marketing. Thank you for joining me. Tonight I'm talking about practice acquisitions. Are you looking to purchase a dental practice and not sure where to start or what to consider in this journey? Well, I'm going to help you today. I'm going to give you some of the things to consider. Oh, that's brighter than I thought. I'm going to give you some of the things to consider that most people are not talking about or advising on, so that when you do embark on this journey, we can make a sound decision and avoid common mistakes. So the first thing to consider is, will you be meeting the team, and is there going to be transparency in this transition? What do I mean by that? A lot of sellers don't tell their team anything until the transaction is finalized. So you walk in on your first day and you're like, nice to meet you, I'm your new boss. And I think the mindset is that if you blindside them, they won't have the opportunity to leave or to change their mind about where they work, and they'll just like you and the retention will be stronger. Most brokers, most brokers are going to tell you, oh, the woes of being live. Most brokers are going to tell you that you shouldn't tell the team and that keep it a secret, because if all the team walk out when the doctor talks about selling, then they have very little less to sell. Goodwill goes down and the value of the practice goes down. But if you work for someone who is ethical and transparent, they should be, in my opinion, preparing you for this transition, introducing you to the new owner, getting you comfortable with that transition. And you know what? If someone's going to leave because the previous owner is retiring, they're going to leave anyways, whether they leave the day you take over or 3 months later or the day before you show up to work. So you have to have enough confidence in yourself as a leader that you are going to face every one of these obstacles and get through them with professional support. And don't be afraid to come in, meet the team, and have confidence in your new role. Next thing to look at is location selection. A lot of people analyze and overanalyze this, and some don't look at it at all. The key here is to think about where you want to practice. Where do you want to be? Do you want to be close to home, or are you willing to move closer to a practice that might be in an area that has a higher need, a higher dental need, fewer competing practices, so it's easier for you to grow and be successful? So think about these things, but I see a lot of people getting kind of desperate and buying anywhere and then just commuting an hour and a half to work every day and being miserable. And when the boss is miserable, everybody's miserable. So it's really important that you think about what you want in this and make decisions not just for what you need, but also what you want, because this is going to be your baby. This is going to be your practice. Next, you are going to want to look at new patient flow, and most people will look at these numbers. But what they don't look at sometimes is the referral sources of the new patients. So if the selling doctor is averaging 10 new patients a month, let's say it's a fee-for-service practice and he's content with that, but they're all word-of-mouth referrals, just know that might cut back significantly, that might drop significantly as soon as a new owner takes over, because the patients need a little bit of time to have that experience and to get comfortable in referring to you. They're used to referring to him or her. So very, very important to consider the referral source of the new patient. Now, if it's 10 and they're all coming from Google, they're coming from the internet, they're coming from your brand, and some, I'm sure, from friends, then that's something you can retain. So you want to be ready to fill in those gaps of referred patients with marketing, and you may need to amp up the marketing a little bit when you get into the ownership role. Next, do you get the digital assets? Look at your agreement, read your agreement. I'm sure you'll have a broker that is representing you. Dual representation can get kind of sketchy. I don't recommend it. You want someone who is on your side, not on both sides. You can't be on both sides. So make sure you have strong representation in this process. So digital assets include things like Google business profiles, reviews on different websites, what the website itself, domain names, social media profiles and pages, email inboxes. Look at these digital assets. This can actually be a little bit of a cue to you if something's off. I've seen a situation where a seller sold the practice and said, oh yeah, I'm retiring, and then popped up like right down the street. So make sure you have really strong contracts that defend you from this. I've seen others sell their practice and their patient base and then have someone else on their team go to work somewhere else, and they take all the patients with them over there. So they thought they were getting an active patient base, but they were sabotaged in the transition. And so bad things can happen, and it's not that you're going to be immune to bad circumstances happening, but you definitely want to stack the deck in your favor. So another thing I see in transitions is I see this letter going out to the patient base like, hey, Dr. So-and-so is retiring and he's really enjoyed taking care of you, but it's time for him to hang it up, and he loves you and he's got so many great memories with you. And then at the very bottom of the letter, it's like, Dr. Y will be taking over and we definitely like him. And it doesn't give you a chance to really highlight the value you're going to bring to the patients and get them excited about staying in the practice. And having a marketing strategy is important, and having a retention strategy for a new owner is even more important. So make sure you're thinking about that. And this is something that we support many of our clients with when they acquire a practice. The other question to consider is, will the seller stay on? And this is a fun one because you may not want the seller to stay on. Like, you might get in there and want to make changes and want to bring in new ways of doing things and improve things. You might be excited to take the reins and be the owner, but you've got this previous owner that everyone's used to listening to and following, and he or she might not be able to let go of the reins a little bit, and it could create a little bit of a power struggle, and it could actually disintegrate the relationship. So in most cases, a really good option is for the selling doctor to stay on part-time and just be a face around the practice, introduce you, say hello, say goodbye to patients, but not necessarily be elbow deep in dentistry, finishing up any big cases or commitments that he or she may have, but also passing the baton. So make sure that when you become the owner, and I always say when the ink is dry, that you have confidence in your role as a leader, and that you have a vision for the practice, and that you can assess who on the team is going to be with you and supportive of this change and help you to push things forward, and who is going to be stuck in the past and holding you back. Because a big key to the success of the new owner is leadership. So read some business books, get an advisor, reach out to me. I'd be more than happy to help you with a complimentary marketing planning session so that we can keep your numbers healthy and help you to establish your own brand and your own footprint in your community so that you have nothing but success going forward, before and during and after the acquisition of your dental practice. So thank you so much. Please subscribe. I'm going to be sharing more and more great information. Identity Dental Marketing. You can find us on social media. You can find our Facebook group where I share a lot of great live information. It's called Dentistry's Growing with Grace. Thanks so much and have a great day.